What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the BrawlCast. Today's a really special episode as we have two of the awesome brawlers and Magnus.
Oh, you wish.
Already off to a great start.
Everybody,
Let me say you should have went in over Sean, okay?
No, Sean's great.
Wow.
It's like me that I'm like, come on, another one.
Yeah, right?
Come on.
Yeah.
why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Let's have the awesome brawlers go first, right? You know,
Oh, snap.
since I'm secondary.
Dan's always first. Okay. Hi, my name's Jonah. I'm the voice of Dan Kouzo for Bakugan Battle Planet. I am very, very excited to be here. I
Thank
don't know
you
if
for having
there's
me.
more for me. Yeah.
And I am Deven Mack. I do the voice of Wynton Styles from Bakugan Battle Planet. And I
should have done
too.
the voice.
It's not too late. Go, hurry.
Oh, no, I feel too much pressure. All right.
Too late.
Sorry to interrupt.
Cool. And I'm Julius Cho, and I'm Magnus on Bakugan Battle Planet.
All right, so we are super hyped to have you guys. We've been having people in our comments asking when we're going to do a anime-centered episode because we've been talking a lot about the TCG aspect and
Right.
not a lot about the actual show. So we're super hyped to have you guys on. As always joined by Kimbo and M Stubbs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, I feel like this episode's pretty special to all of us here. You know, we're huge fans of you guys. And, you know, I think this episode is a really good opportunity for us to learn about not only you guys, but voice acting in general, you know? Because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have no idea what goes into that.
I mean, we're not entirely sure sometimes, too.
No, it's a guess.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But, yeah, we're super hyped to have you guys. I know...
Well, thank you for having
Yeah,
us.
thanks for having
Yeah,
us.
absolutely. I
Absolutely.
know Kim, he's super caught up on the show. Michael and I are not. So,
Yeah.
Kim, do you have any questions to start off the podcast?
Well, I mean, just wow, it's a lot of pressure, but it's more of I kind of do like a little bit of voice acting stuff because I do like some skits, like, you know, for like Beyblade and stuff on my channel. Hopefully, Bakugan skits in the future. But I guess the main thing I was wondering is like, do you guys like meditate at all before you actually like get into your character, before you actually say your lines? Because I know before I even make my skits, I sit down for like 30 minutes and I just like jam to some music, really get in my zone, and then just think about like all the different characters that I'm gonna utilize for my series. Is that something you guys do too?
Well, there's a bit of like a reference at the beginning a lot of the time of the recording where they play you what the character sounds like. So that, I guess in a way that's just kind of like getting the voice just right and getting into the spirit of the character.
Mm.
But how about you guys?
Go ahead, Julius.
Sure. For me, it was in the very beginning. I had a playlist just like you, Kimbo, where I was listening to like angsty teenage Linkin Park kind of music, just like real ragers. Where I'm like, nobody understands me, and I get into that character. I have a catchphrase where it's just like I just say, "I'm Magnus," and something that like gets me into the right mindset. My partner got me this beautiful cosplay item, and so, you know, sometimes I just wear this and I'm like, all right, I got it, I got the character, and then it's lame, but yeah, it's what I do. It's my ritual.
No, that's awesome.
I just picture you running around all day with that going, don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh.
Will you shut up?
Oh man.
For me, I would say with most characters, because I come from a sports background, like I'm used to like loosening up to an extent. Like depending on the role, I'll have like different kind of postures that I'll take on, or sometimes I'll kind of like loosen up sort of like a boxer would or something like that, just to kind of get me in the kind of mindset sometimes. And same as what Jonah says, they have a reference clip that they'll play for us, and Mine is about Wynton setting up some prank. He says, "Oh boy, I can't wait to see their faces covered in whipped cream." So that's my line that I hear almost every time that I repeat back to help me kind of get back into the voice a little bit.
Right.
That's awesome.
It's funny for my reference. It's a clip from actually my audition, but at the time I pronounced Leah wrong, so I hear that every single time.
You say Leia, or what do you say?
I think I said Laya. I was coming in from camp, so I couldn't really check any sources to see what it would actually sound like. And also, I sounded a lot worse because this was like 2 years ago. I'd like to think I've gotten a bit better since then.
Yeah,
but
man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, definitely. And funny enough,
guys.
my sample was the same thing. It was my audition tape, and what I auditioned for Magnus is totally different from what Magnus sounds like now. Like every time they would give me the reference, it was this guy who was like, "I just want a Bakugan battle you, Dan. Come on." And it was just kind of like, oh, this is not helping me at all. Like I had to tell our sound guy to be like, "Hey, do you mind giving me like a episode 5 or 10, maybe somewhere later where I can just have I know where the voice is," kind of thing. So yeah.
Awesome. So real quick, question I had was, did you all audition for the characters that you all have initially? Was that your initial interest, or did you have another character in mind?
Well, I auditioned for Shun originally.
Really?
Yeah. So I went in the callback phase, which is kind of after you have the general auditions, they select a few to come and audition in person with our director and producers. And I went in with Shun, and it wasn't going well. And then our director was like, hey, try Magnus for us. And I was like, okay. And yeah, that's how that happened for me. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about you two?
I came in for Dan and Magnus.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, they wanted me to do both. not this time. But yeah, the Magnus one was actually kind of cool to me because I don't get to do villains that often.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's also really fun being the main, energetic kind of guy. So things turned out pretty well considering.
Jonah, can I make a request? Can I hear what you did for Magnus?
Yes,
I'm just so curious.
It's like that.
Yeah.
I'm just fine on my own. That kind of stay out of my way or I'll you
Angry Dan.
Awesome brawlers. Yeah.
Dude, there's a parallel universe where you play both, and it's just you and the mic, standing on one side on the Magnus, what are you doing? Get out of my way, Dan. Magnus, please.
Oh my god, that would be awesome.
That is gold. Yeah.
I want that show.
Yeah, right.
Just
maybe it'll happen one of the next times we're in the maze.
Yep,
Maybe
we'll
that'll happen.
Right.
Everyone's voice just gets replaced by Dan.
Everyone's played by Dan. Leo, Wynton, Lightning.
An episode where Magnus and Dan body swapped, and they have to try and mimic each other's voices. That way, they can kind of blend in, and they're both kind of doing.
So we were close to doing something like that.
Oh yeah.
In the earlier episodes, when Magnus was kind of the Team Rocket of the group, where I somehow had a device that made me turn into Dan. And I remember they were considering, do I just imitate Jonah? But then inevitably it was just Jonah playing evil Dan.
Yeah, so I got a little bit of a thought to do that kind of Magnus-y voice that I...
It's Magnus. I have the first official Magnus action figure.
It's perfect.
His middle name is actually James. Magnus James Black.
Yes.
As for me with auditions, I was actually initially trying out for Wynton and Dan and Benton. And I did get a call back on Dan and Wynton, I think. But as we got further along, as we got to like the last round, we actually did, and this rarely happens for anime. We did like an ensemble group sort of audition together with me and Jonah and Margarita Valderrama playing Leah, and we read all those parts. We read through a scene together, and I was like, okay, that's Dan and Leah right there. That was kind of decided in that moment.
The same about you. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I
so
love
cool.
ensembles so much. Like doing those
Oh,
are so
yeah.
much fun. They have their perks, but I guess in the end, a lot of the time it doesn't work.
It's harder for dubbing, isn't it?
Yeah,
guess so,
because because the way the system is set up, they only have it programmed to take in one actor at a time. So they'd have to reload the different sort of script sections for each actor, for each line. If they were going to record everybody at once, it would just be too much of a disaster.
Oh yeah. Like, I want you to imagine this program like karaoke to the death. Like, it's intense, like physical karaoke. You see your line, you're like, go, and you're like, huh, say the line. Also look at the mouth flaps. Oh no, and like, oh, he's running. Now I need to add it. There's like, it's karaoke on steroids. It's amazing.
It is.
It's so fun.
I've always wondered how like anime dubbing, how difficult it is, especially like you know, because it comes from overseas, so it's like it's a completely different language. And I always, when I'm watching anime, it's like, how do they get their words to match up so perfectly? Like, it's nuts.
How indeed.
Really hard.
Yeah.
A lot of it really comes down to voice direction and writing, because there are going to be times where we're reading through lines and we're looking at the visual and the way it's timed out, and we'll finish talking, but the mouth is still kind of going. So we'll be like, okay, we need to find a way to fill in some new words in here, but we also have to have it carefully written so our characters aren't saying stuff like, look out, Dan! Like, so it can be really tricky to kind of find that right balance.
Yeah, sometimes you have to say things really quickly or really painfully slowly. It's just finding that sweet spot where it's not too uncomfortable, and sometimes you can add or take away words. That helps a lot of the time.
It's finding the pocket, and it's a nice negotiation between your producer and director on the other side of the screen, basically, of just being like, well, how about we try this? Yeah, just try that and see if you can match the mouth flaps, and then just praying to God you get it in like 2-3 takes kind of thing. Yeah.
One of my favorite examples is sometimes I'll just throw in like BS words to try to extend something a little longer if I know there's not going to be enough script dialogue to match the mouth flaps. So I had a line of for Wynton pretending to be a lawyer, and he's like he says, Wynton Styles, attorney of law, and it didn't fit, so I changed it to Wynton Styles, attorney of like law and stuff. And then it fit perfectly.
That's perfect. I love small things like that really kind of were unintentional, like kind of ad-libbed developing of characters. Because that's such a Wynton thing. Like looking at Wynton now, it's like that fits like the character perfect. And I feel like when that happens, that's when like producers and stuff should know that they have like really good fits for the roles, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, we all have a really strong connection with our character, and it's neat when we get those moments where we get to bring our own unique creativity in that sort of way. And that's when it starts to feel a little bit more like a cartoon, where in cartoons you do have free reign to do a lot more stuff because you're not locked into the animation that's there.
About how many takes does it typically, like on average, would you say it takes you all to get like a section or something, or part of an episode?
Depends, really. If it's like what we talked about, if it's a lot of mouth flaps and you have to like do a lot of explanation too, for me it probably takes like 3-4 times before we nail it, kind of thing. At least for me. I don't know if I'm just a bad voice actor for you guys.
Yeah, no, it's
I wouldn't say so.
Okay, cool. Oh, good. Yeah, that's right. Okay, good. We're all in agreement. Good.
Yeah, a lot of the time there's a big section where it's just a bunch of like, huh? Whoa, what? Like, and that usually you could go through that pretty quickly. But then it comes to the point where there's like a big paragraph, and a lot of the time it's not even you. A lot of the time it just doesn't fit right for the lip flaps. So that can take a few takes. Also,
if say, because we don't have an ensemble cast, if your partner in the scene is giving a much different energy, you can't, sometimes we don't get to hear what the other person said. So it's a lot of just what the director's telling us, and we might come in with like way too low energy or way too high energy, and it's trying to find that perfect balance there too. Yeah.
What's cool is sometimes when we would do the recording sessions in the studio, sometimes if another actor has recorded for the day, their blanks are already filled in. So when we're watching the video leading up to our words, we will get to hear stuff the previous person did, but that's not always going to happen. Usually it doesn't, at least for me.
Same.
So it's a lot of basically going in blind, and there's a lot of reliance upon the director to tell you what's going on and what exactly you're responding to.
Wow.
Earlier bird gets the responsibility of figuring out what people are supposed to be saying before.
Exactly. And that's Leah oftentimes, Margarita, because for whatever reason, she really loved having recording sessions at 9:30 a.m., which didn't work for me. So I give her so much respect for being like the first person coming in of the day and kind of laying down the guide for a lot of us to follow afterwards.
Yeah,
she's super good too.
Yeah,
mine's more later in the day. Especially I have school, so I have to leave school like, I don't know, a half hour early to get up there on time. So I don't really have as much flexibility with that.
Yo, Jonah, do you get like teased by your classmates being like, "Oh, where you going, Dan Kouzo?" Like, do they just like walk on at you, or I'm just so curious.
I actually at school, like I don't generally talk about it if I'm not if it doesn't like come up, because I don't want to be like, hey guys, do you know I'm a voice actor? Guys, do you know I'm on a TV show? Because that's not a very nice look. But a lot of the time, there are people who are much more annoying than others to talk to about this kind of stuff. But so it usually I get to slip out pretty seamlessly.
That's cool. So pull.
I was actually sorry, Julius.
No, go on.
I was actually going to ask about that. I was going to say like, how does being like so young? I say that because I'm a good bit older than you, but like how does being a voice actor at that age, like how did like your friends and stuff, like do they like? I assume they support you, but does that?
No friend of mine is a voice actor.
You're a voice actor? Get out of here!
How dare! Friendship over.
But I was just wondering if it comes up, like, is it something that you like, talk about like kind of frequently with your friends, or
not too much? If something new comes up, then I'll talk about it. But a lot of the time, I guess they're pretty used to it, because it's not very. It doesn't interfere with their lives very much, so I guess it doesn't always come up.
Do you have any friends that are like super into Bakugan?
I have a couple friends that were really into the original, like and they were pretty hyped when they heard that I was on the new show, so that was pretty cool. Yeah. I watched the older show when I was pretty young. So it's pretty cool to be able to be a part of this.
That is really cool. Like I can't imagine, like, you know, I was a junior in high school when the original came out, and I can't imagine being like, you know, like as big of a fan as I am of it, and then, you know, walking into it, or, you know, getting to the point where am able to be a voice actor, and then, Bakugan or Spin Master, whoever the agency or whatever comes in, it's like, hey, you should try out for this, or see one available that I can try out for, and then actually getting a call back on it or something like that. I would just be like floored.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was gonna bring me to my question actually. Is did you guys prepare for your auditions or roles by kind of referencing the original, or was that just kind of left on the back burner?
I didn't reference as much. I forget if it was the original audition or the callback where I was at camp and I heard that I got the audition or the callback. But even if it wasn't, then I think I just wanted to kind of do my own thing and bring my own take to the character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just based on the character description that they gave.
Gotcha.
I watched a bit of it for reference actually, and going in for Shun, I was like, okay, well, Shun's one of the old legacy characters, and like total 180 from what the original one.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, this dude's a ninja, like whoa, and then like, yeah, so it helped me like at least inform, because I also auditioned for Dan Kouzo, and just hearing the original Dan Kouzo was voiced by an adult, and then kind of the placement, and then the placement of the voice versus like how young Dan is and stuff like that. But yeah it was kind of cool to just watch the old cartoon and actually be like, oh, I know some of these people who have been in the original show and just like have been transferred on. Yeah. It's been nice.
Yeah,
really
similar thing with me, where I took a quick look at like a few episodes because I didn't really grow up with it. But again, most of the characters that I auditioned for were not in the original version of the show. I knew going in that they were going to go in a younger direction with Dan. So I more so just kind of wanted to get a feel for what Bakugan was about. But I knew that still the new version was going to be an entirely new take on that. So I didn't put too much stock into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just made sure I nailed down the Bakugan brawl screams kind of stuff. Like that was important.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Is it
staple.
hard for you guys to, more so for Julius and Deven, is it hard for you guys as like, grown adults to voice children? Like, is that a difficult task sometimes?
Dev, you want to go first, or?
Sure. No, it's not a problem
cool.
for me. So for me, my voice, I've been fortunate where I've got a flexible range, but also my voice hasn't changed too drastically from when I first started, when I first started a few years ago. So it hasn't really been that much of a challenge for me to go up there, and it's kind of like it's kind of like a muscle that you just keep kind of flexing it, so you don't lose that range. It doesn't get kind of too tensed up. I'm always kind of loose and able to just jump into where I need to go, because I'm always practicing with that.
And that's similar with me, where I'm lucky I have like quite a high voice that I don't really need to do too much for a kid voice. But just like what Dev's saying, it is a muscle, and it is kind of, the key thing is getting to the pitch of a kid, but then also remembering, can you act in that range too? So you don't just sound like you're a one note, high note person, but you can't actually like express true emotion and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Things like that. Yeah.
On that note, I think we should probably take that short break, because we were 10 minutes about 6 minutes ago, something like that. So I'm going to get that set up and get you all back in on the call, and we will return.
Darkest blast to the face, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say you described it pretty eloquently. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm here all night.
Darkest Blast is one of my favorite cards, like in the TCG. And it's not really that good because it's 6 cost. Just expensive for what it is.
Darkest
But,
is expensive in the game.
yeah.
I gotta say, yeah.
So obviously, being a Darkest enthusiast, I have a mono Darkest deck that I have just
Nice.
for fun.
Mhm.
So one of the Bakugan that I play is Darkest Vicerock's Core, because his Evo is you can discard 2 cards to play his Evo for free.
Nice.
So I'll try and discard Darkest Blast and then play Nova Burst to copy the effect of it to get that plus 1200 for like 3 cost.
Of course. Nice.
Are we doing the
But yeah.
podcast right now? I don't know. I said, are we doing the podcast right now? Because I don't know.
I mean, why not? Like,
like,
This is a gray area.
yeah, it's gonna be hard for
Sorry.
me to edit, but it's okay.
good quality
sorry.
stuff. Though.
It's okay.
Should we go back to on track with the question?
Okay, we
No,
can like
everything has been perfect. I'm just gonna leave it as it is, except all the
Yeah.
stuff before that.
because I mean
About like dinner?
I mean, I can probably
Yeah,
do that.
I mean, you can edit out me bullying Jonah, but that's optional. I don't.
No, people need to know. People need to know what I've suffered from this man.
It's
Really?
true. I'll
Horrible
take.
man.
We'll continue the podcast.
Just trying to stay in
from
character.
there.
If you wanna get bullied, like actually play Bakugan against Julius when
It's
he's
true.
winning, which doesn't
Yeah.
happen anymore.
No, not
But when
but
it
yeah,
did,
okay.
you
look,
would turn
yeah,
into
when
a James Bond villain.
It was so good, though. Come
With-
on.
You like with
Come
the
on.
chair, like petting a cat. Ooh, are you running out of energy, Wynton?
Okay, wait, but okay. Context though. Dev had no idea how to play any card games. When I told him like, oh, you need to tap the energy card, he literally started tapping it, being like,
Am I doing it right? Am I doing it right?
I was like, oh. and then I burned you so bad in so many games that you're like, screw this, I'm gonna, and you upped your gains to the point where I was like, oh no, like I can't win at all.
that's gold though.
It would appear the student has become the master.
It's very true. So it's a classic arc in Bakugan in real life. So it's no surprise. No surprise.
Art
Julius,
imitates
if you
reality.
continue,
Yeah.
I can help you. I can help you up your game so you can start beating
Please.
Devin some more.
Yeah, man. I mean, please. Mono Darkest isn't a very strong deck. Is
No,
what
it's
I've
not.
what I've noticed.
I've
Vengeance
noticed
and
too.
Pirates.
I've noticed.
I know
Alright.
you noticed, Dev. I know.
It's okay.
I gotta
I'm
be
not good at
honest.
all.
I don't know. I tried playing. It's difficult. It's complicated. I got crushed by these two, and I think they've prevented me from ever trying again.
No, we built you a deck. What are you talking about?
yeah, I'm so thankful for it. But you guys just kind of crushed my spirits with your just tremendous abilities.
It's true.
You
I'll
need
take
to
that.
bring someone in for you to crush. I think that's the way we're gonna
Yeah,
have
I'll
do
need
this.
to
True.
find someone who has absolutely no experience, and then they'll
Exa-
still probably beat me. And
Probably.
and then I'll just have to just keep doing it until I get lucky. So
Yeah.
I think
Trying
my
to think
chances
if-
are.
If
Jason
there was hope for
probably
me, oh yeah, Jason, exactly.
would be great.
You can
Yeah,
beat up
Jason.
beat up Drago.
Yeah.
He can take it.
You can take him, Dan.
Beat him with his own figure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it gets really, really intense. Like, I mean, just at the end of the Invitational, saw Devin and Julius face off in that one brawl. Jet was filming it, and they were just so into it. I was trying so hard in the background not just be like, yeah, Devin, Julius, oh. And I'm like, I can't. Jet's recording. I'm just like,
And to let you guys know what I was thinking in my head the whole time was, oh no. Oh no. Because Dev, in the meantime, while I was like doing my James Bond villain impersonation and the Invitational, I was doing nothing to improve my game. Dev was like, I don't know what you were doing, but you were like collecting more cards, building the Evo, and like your mono Ventus deck was so scary. I was like, oh no. Like
Well,
I
you
had dude, I had like first generation cards. You had like, I don't even know.
No, I did. Honestly, most of my cards were first generation too.
Oh,
The thing with me was
Yeah.
I had gone to the States a couple times, and
Yeah, that's true.
I'd gotten some resurgence cards, but not a whole lot.
Yeah.
But mainly what it was I kept buying packs trying to get a shiny Wynton card, and I
Yes.
never got one.
Yeah, yeah.
But I got a lot of other cards.
You did, yeah.
Hey.
I was trying to get every voice actor's card in hex form, actually, when the cards started coming out. And the only one I could not get was yours, Dev. Like, even now, couldn't get it.
Yep.
And I was like,
I
got Magnus twice. Yeah.
Yes,
Still kind of
Lucky
I
you.
think in your first pack, I think
In
you
my
got
no,
Magnus.
it was my third pack ever. I was like, all right, I'm ready for the long haul. And then I opened this up and I was like, okay, I'm done. Okay, I did it. And then I was like, well, okay, let's grab everyone else. Because Jonah, I think I got yours as well, right? Or was that,
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but I'm so thankful of you guys. You guys were so
Oh,
awesome. Like, you guys made me a deck. You guys got me a couple.
And you never used it
of the-
again.
I keep
We'll
them
get
in my
there.
room with a
I
lot
know.
of fondness, and
Yeah.
I will beat you at some point in
You'll beat me.
probably
that's
the
for sure.
very far future. So
Yeah, very far safe future when
I'm
I'll be
just
saying-
practicing. I'll be
Like-
I'll be upping my game.
yeah.
I'm just saying this needs to happen. Yu-Gi-Oh does scripted like character
Yeah.
duels at their
Yeah, I've seen that.
nationals,
Yeah.
at their larger events and stuff like that. Spin Master, Bakugan, whoever needs to bring you all in and like have either like the writers or something come up with like a quick like scripted brawl. And I mean, you all don't, or it could be scripted, it could be not, whatever. Just you all need to be there, and it needs to be like part of the.
It won't be scripted. It won't. I won't let it be scripted.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Make it
I'm fine.
happen, Reggie. If you're watching, Reggie, make it happen.
Like it just needs to come. It just needs to come be a part of the invitational, and it needs to be on the itinerary. It needs to be time that's set aside. Like if we
Sick,
have to
man.
go back to that theater or whatever,
Hmm.
Yeah.
you all like set up a table there, and everybody sit in the
No, Michael, it's not a table. It's like a rising platform with fog machine smoke coming out. And it says Jonah, Wynton, Margarita, and Wilson Bowe, who plays Lightning, just doing their poses, being like, "We're here!"
He's lightning and he's
Yeah.
Benton.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Two birds
But I
with one
want
stone.
Range.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I missed
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
yeah, man. I'd say that's the
same
dream, not
guy
just a
that
table,
voices
just a rising.
Lightning voices Benton. That's
Yeah.
wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I would love a bat. I want a battle in the Bakugan cage. That was one of the coolest things
That's
I've ever
pretty cool.
seen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is so much fun, honestly. I guess I'm the only one that has battled in the cage.
Yeah,
I've never
Dylan
done that.
didn't. I just sat there fanboying the whole time
I
and
haven't
watched
even
it.
gone
Still
to a-
worth
That-
it.
Yeah.
That was me.
I haven't even
It's-
gone to an expo or a con or anything. The only thing I've gone
You're
to is the
missing out.
Invitational.
Like it's the most like because how the announcers and stuff hype it up, like people that are just into anime and stuff just walk over just out of curiosity. So not only do you have like all these Bakugan fans that are crowded around like shaking the cage, like pounding on it and stuff, like yeah, but you got like all these like other people that are just like, what is this? Oh sweet, this is cool. Like, you know, and
Right.
they're, it's like,
Yeah.
like a bunch of people gather around you. And like for me, my my first two matches in the cage, my first one was against Arliss Ancient and then against Simo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I lost to Arliss Ancient, and it was really close. And I was like, man. And then I came back the next day for MomoCon last year, and I played Simo, and I actually beat him in like 5 turns. But,
Oh, nice.
so that was pretty sweet, and that's how I actually won the original Drago set.
Episode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Got flexed.
That one I legitimately won. And after I beat Simo, that's when Brock actually approached me and was like, so you have a YouTube channel? I was like, yeah. And he was like, here's my card. Email me.
Nice.
But yeah, it was pretty wild.
Yeah, man. Even just being in the cage, like adrenaline. I wasn't even the one that was like facing off. I just went in and like filmed a couple of them, and then I got the adrenaline. So I can only imagine just sitting at that table and actually brawling.
Dude, that table is so small though.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of room in there, so I understand, but it's like half of the like playmat size.
Nice.
So you're like
Kim,
rolling.
Kimbo,
for,
we gotta get you in the cage then, man. Like,
Yeah, it has to happen.
I need to get a picture to Jonah because I don't know if Jonah has any idea what we're talking about.
Probably not.
Cage match.
Jonah's
I
probably just
might
like,
have
oh
seen a
crap, they're fighting. In
Jonah's just training for
Cage
UFC.
match,
He's
yeah.
ready for it. He's like, yeah, I can do jiu-jitsu and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds really awesome.
I've got some of
I
the
just
brawl
sent
time.
you check your phone, Jonah. I just
so
sent you a
I
picture.
just
Yeah.
saw.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Jonah, context.
ooh,
It's
that's
not
cool.
actual fighting.
Yeah, I kind of.
So don't go
I
in
kinda
and
figured
do a
that out.
flying kick on your opponent.
Oh my.
Even if
Wow.
especially if it's me.
That
Don't
is
need an
so
arm
sweet.
bar.
Dude, what if
Yeah.
that's how they like unveiled like you're all like to you all too, like you're all's new Bakugan. They're like, here's new season Bakugan. Here you go.
Oh,
Have
cool.
it. Guess what? That's what you're gonna be. You know, that's one of your partners in the show now. And you're like,
Yeah. I would have loved that.
And then
yeah.
everybody else is like,
Oh.
because everybody's
Yeah.
excited too because it's Bakugan.
Yeah.
I just think that would be cool personally. That's me.
I dig it.
I'm a nerd.
I think we all are, man. Like, especially
Oh yeah.
getting to be on a show like this. It's wonderful to get to connect with fans of like both the old and the new series, and just yeah, man. I mean, it's unreal. I get to like meet you
Mhm.
guys and like
Yeah.
actually be like, hey, how's it going? Like, how's life? How's the kid and stuff like that?
Right?
You know?
Yeah, that was
Currently
super
upstairs
cool.
doing who knows what.
Yeah, it's super cool meeting you guys.
Yeah.
Not just for like
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like you guys were super like awesome having people who have been in voice acting for a bit longer than me that I can learn a thing or two from. Yeah. Being younger, it has some perks for like having people to look up to and people to learn from. So yeah,
Mhm.
pretty
It's
cool.
true. Yeah.
And that's the neat thing about voiceover. I mean, it's much more so than the live action world. We're a lot smaller and we're very much a community of people who
Yeah.
we want to see each other succeed. And
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
and that's what it's about for me.
Totally.
It's
We
a
don't think
beautiful.
of each other as being constantly in competition.
Well, I do, especially with you, Dev, but just you.
Of course.
That's just me. No, but it's absolutely true. It's just like we're such a nice family of people who want to support each other, and it's like, it's such a gift that we get to play these characters and other animated shows we're in, just to have fun and then like hang out and be like, oh, what are you voicing? What? And then that kind of is nice
Yeah.
camaraderie. Yeah.
The fact
Yeah.
that I was literally like, oh man, did you get my character? Because that would have been awesome. But instead, he
Yeah.
got the brother of my former character. But
Yeah.
still, I'm happy to
Exactly.
see
It's
that.
crazy that you
Yeah.
just don't know. You only have
No.
because a lot, people's voices are so versatile that you
Yeah.
never
Mhm.
people have some distinct voices, but a lot of the
Yeah.
time you just can't tell.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
especially if you don't know ahead of time.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I have a real quick
It's
question.
just
for
full of surprises.
Everybody.
All right.
All right. And that's including you too, Michael and Kim.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's your guys' favorite voice actors? It could be 1, 2, 3, 5. But
Well,
Ooh.
these two, for one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know.
So
I know.
sweet.
I'm not pulling any punches, buddy. It's not gonna happen. Well, for me, it was Billy West. Always just like watching Futurama and being inspired by his work is wonderful. And the way how he can play this like really goofy character, and then when it gets really serious and emotional, it hits me, and I like can't help but cry and suddenly connect. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a human being, even though it's drawn. So he's one of the top up there's for me as a hero. Yeah.
Which characters did he play on Futurama?
Fry, the Professor, Zoidberg, Zap Brannigan, and then like
Yeah.
all these other. And like the
Wow.
crazy thing is, I'm a
Played a
kid
lot.
watching, and I'm like, what? That's the same person, and you're like, what? Like mind blown kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, obviously you guys, and all the actors for Bakugan and such, voice actors.
Thanks.
But yeah, I'd say like it would be between two of them, like Billy West, like you said, and also Seth MacFarlane. Because
Seth
of
yeah.
how many voices.
Oh,
Family
it's
Guy.
crazy.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane for sure. One of my other favorites, and it's just the only character that I know that he voices is Yusei Fudo from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Greg Abbey. Yeah, he's super cool. I've always wanted to meet him, and I was hoping that he would be one of the characters that would show up at a Yu-Gi-Oh! Nationals, but unfortunately Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the TCG itself just got to a point where I just was not having fun with it anymore because it was it's just super broken right now, in my opinion. So I backed away from it and pursued other interests and stuff, and then Bakugan rebooted. So here I am. But I really like Greg Abbey. He does really good work with Yusei Fudo and Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. And then, like Kim said, Seth MacFarlane, like, how can you not appreciate somebody that can do all those voices? And then obviously, like, you guys are awesome. You all do so good on the show. Like,
Yeah, thanks.
You all brought back some, I can't say childhood because I was like a young adult. So I guess it's still like just like super nostalgic for me. Just the show and the game and everything. There's a lot of like mixed feelings on it. And I think that's, I don't know, people are just expecting too much of the old to be in the new, and
Yeah,
I feel like that's kind of an unhealthy expectation. But
Absolutely.
I
It
went
happens.
looking forward, like I was looking at it as something new and was just super excited about it. And honestly, you all, like, especially for like you three, like your characters just absolutely deliver, like on what I would
thank you.
expect that character to be like.
Thanks.
So thank you all for your hard work and everything.
No, thank you.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it.
Yeah, I also want to make a shout out for Margarita. It's a shame she's not here.
She does
But
great.
like,
Mhm.
yeah, I love her performance, especially the episode where she is like talking about her father who passed away, and it's like
Yeah.
incredibly emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to do a special shout out for that.
Yeah, we'd never had anything quite like that in the show before. It's usually so much of this like surreal escapism, total just crazy fantasy out there stuff, and to actually have something that can hit close to home with like a lot of real people in real life, like that was really cool. And she just handled it perfectly with the utmost care. And I know it really struck a chord with a lot of people.
Yeah.
She's really awesome.
Yeah.
You guys should have her on us next time.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need to do another one of these. I didn't know how to get a hold of her, or else I absolutely would have. The more the merrier, in my opinion. So,
You know who else is one of my personal? I like Justin Roiland.
Yeah.
Nice.
He.
Okay.
I just love a lot of his
Rick and
his
Morty.
voices. Some of the voices are pretty similar, but I don't think it's his aim to make that many different voices. I respect his work. I love the improv-y style.
Yeah.
I'd say.
And of course, like,
Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
For me, I'd be here all day if I tried to go through all of my favorites. So I'll settle on one of my favorites, probably one of the most influential and the first character voice that I learned from imitating. Maddie Blaustein, who was best known as the second voice and one of the longer running voices of Meowth in Pokemon.
I knew it.
wow.
This really sort of energetic, sort of comedic really voice that you could say all this silly stuff and do these crazy reactions. I love stuff like that. And me as a shy kid being able to hear these zany, cartoony voices, I could hear them be like, I wish I could be that expressive. I wish I could be like that. And imitating that, learning how to do that, learning how to not be boring is kind of what led me to be in the industry that I'm in today.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way with that, like with that kind of motivation of being a voice actor, because being, a visible minority, I didn't really get a lot of opportunities or a lot of I think support from my acting teachers when I was in university. But like voice acting was still able to, like, the way to allow me to still express what we love, like these confident characters, or these very powerfully passionate characters without needing to worry like the limitations that we have physically, I would say. Yeah.
So what would you say for everybody that's watching, and I'm curious myself as well, what would you say the first major step to pursuing a career in voice acting would be? And if we have to, like, I know we're like hit the 10-minute mark again a little bit ago, like 2 minutes ago. If we have to, we can definitely start another meeting if you all aren't pressed for time.
We can try to give the quick answers.
All right, cool. Yeah, Dev, go.
Beat around.
Okay. I would say watch a lot of professional material that's out there. Watch cartoons, watch video games, pay attention to commercials, listen to the things that are getting hired, listen to those sort of tones, see where maybe you can fit in. Oh, I can play this kind of character, I can play that kind of character. But at the end of the day, it isn't just about being able to do all these different sorts of voices. At the end of the day, what matters is your acting. So before you're trying to do an impression of so-and-so and such, focus on your own voice and the emotions that you can carry within that. Can you take anything that's written and given to you and find a way to make it interesting? Of course, it's not easy to get involved into acting classes right now with what's going on in the world. But if you can still take time with maybe a group of friends or get on an online community, which there are plenty of, and you can find people who are just looking for amateur voice actors to put little things together. Either like audio stories. Sometimes somebody will take their favorite web comic and be like, hey, let's put some voices to this. Anything you can do to get that kind of practice with acting, that's what it all comes down to. Acting comes first and foremost.
What he said. Yeah, same thing. I would say just like be comfortable with your own voice, listen to your own voice, and remember, allow yourself, just like acting, can you believe in the story you're telling? Are you able to like suspend yourself in the world and actually believe the stakes or whatever? Can you play He-Man for a sec, play Fry or Bender or whatever, and still remember you're acting without putting on or presenting? Exactly. Like you be authentic. That's the key thing. Yeah. Jonah?
I guess I would say just don't be discouraged at the beginning if things are slow or if things aren't working out right away, because a lot of the time, even if you're not getting anything, just putting yourself out there and taking risks, that exposes you to people in the industry that could take interest in what you have to offer. And so sometimes it's just time and a bit of luck that gets you forward.
Yeah, sometimes there'll be moments where you think you fell flat on your face. Oh man, I wasn't a good fit for this character at all. My voice just doesn't work. Somebody could be listening to that and say, oh, you know what? You didn't fit there, but what you did is exactly perfect for something else I've got in mind, and you'll get a role that way. That stuff can happen all the time.
Yeah, that's basically my story with Magnus, basically, where I didn't do a good shun, and then they were like, yeah, but that voice kind of works with Magnus, and then here we are. Yeah,
that happens all the time.
All the
time.
Take
that risk. Take that risk.
You have to.
That's awesome, guys.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
it's our pleasure.
It's like even like because I do like a Beyblade skit series. I actually just finished it like beginning of this month, and I just like thought of like voices for all the characters. The main one, anybody who watches my channel, is Bull. So it's a voice that's kind of like this, and I just go with it, like, you know, like literally any fun moments or serious, like really, really sad emotional moments. Like I just put those all into it and just use like Bull's voice, and everybody just distinguishes Bull, and the main phrase for him is like bacon, I want bacon. Like,
I like that. It reminds me of Ben. It reminds me of Ben K a little bit.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's sick.
Pretty nice.
All right. Well, I have to say this has been the most fun podcast episode so far.
Absolutely.
I'm glad.
I love you.
That makes me happy to hear.
Yeah, I've had a
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks.
It's been a blast. Hopefully we can do this again sometime, because
totally.
we definitely want to have you guys back.
I love to.
Yeah, and let us know if you want more people too, and we'll try and get our whole voice cast.
I would love more people.
That
That would
Right?
be
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I guess I got one last little thing to say, and it's mainly to Devin because he knows what I'm talking about with this. So after the invitational ended, you and I had a conversation, and you would just talk to me, and you told me like you were proud of me for making it that far, for making it to the invitational and such, just being a brother and such. And I'm just saying, like, those words since November have like rung with me so far, and I like so hard, and I kid you not, it's been one of my biggest driving things for this entire year, especially everything going on and such. And I just want to say, like, big time thank you for that, because that literally, like, as soon as it was over, I actually stayed with JoJo after that, and I literally bawled in her guest room just thinking about that. I was like, she really said that to me, like, oh my, like, and it's been one of my big time driving things for like this year. So I just want to like thank you so much for
sharing that with me, brother.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about for me. I just want to spread positivity and encourage people. So
Of course.
again, nothing makes me happier than hearing that.
All right,
Well,
guys.
thank you all so much for being on here.
We were
Well,
really
thank you.
appreciate
Thank you for having us.
All right, guys.
Absolutely.
So that is it for the 4th episode of BrawlCast. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate all the positive feedback. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify. We'll see you guys next time.
Guys, do it with me now. 3, 2, 1.
Bakugan
Bakugan!
Brawl!
Oh!